You've probably heard it many times. Manifestation takes time. They say you must wait, be patient, or keep believing until it happens. But what if idea itself is what keeps you waiting? What if manifestation is not something that takes time at all, but something that happens instantly, the very moment you imagine it? The truth is, manifestation is always instant. The only delay you ever experience is in your awareness of what you've already created. Your outer world is simply catching up to what your inner world has already accepted as real. Think about it for a moment. Every single thing that exists in your life right now, every situation, every relationship, every feeling, was once an image in your imagination. You saw it before you lived it. You felt it before you touched it. You thought it before you experienced it. Imagination is the womb of creation. It is where everything begins and ends. When you close your eyes and imagine something vividly, you are not daydreaming. You are creating. You are shaping unseen matter into form. You are declaring this is real, and the universe simply agrees with you. The moment you imagine something and accept it as done, it is done. Creation is finished the instant you feel it real. You may not see it yet with your outer eyes, but in the unseen world it's already complete. You've planted the seed, and that seed must bring forth after its kind. It cannot do otherwise. Take a moment to really feel what that means when you imagine yourself as already healed, already abundant, already loved, already free. At that instant, the moment you assume it to be true, you have entered the state of your desire. And once you enter that state, life begins to mirror it back to you in ways that may seem miraculous. In the book of life it is written, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This isn't poetry, it's law. You are always manifesting, instantly according to the state you occupy. The outer world simply echoes your inner state. If you are dwelling in fear, you meet fearful situations. If you dwell in love, love must appear. Manifestation doesn't take time, it takes acceptance. The second you accept the reality of your desire within, it exists. The only question that remains is whether you will believe it long enough to let it appear before your eyes. Imagine this. A person imagines themselves wealthy, but then they look at their bank account and say it's not here yet. What they've done is cancel the creation. They planted the seed, but then dug it up to check if it was growing. But what if they had simply persisted in the feeling of wealth? What if they had trusted that unseen forces were already arranging the perfect scene? This is why imagination is so powerful. It doesn't wait for evidence, it creates evidence. You cannot see the wind, yet you can see its effect in the trees. Likewise, you may not see your desire immediately, but you will soon see the effect of your imagination in your world. Every time you imagine, you are moving in consciousness, and wherever your consciousness goes, your world follows. You are not here to beg for your desires. You are here to command them into being. You are the dreamer, dreaming the dream, not the character hoping the dream changes. When you realize that, you stop asking when it will happen and start knowing it already has. Your imagination is not a fantasy tool. It is divine vision. It's how spirit creates. The world you see with your physical eyes is only a reflection of what you've been seeing in your inner eye. Change the inner movie, and the outer scene must change. You can prove this for yourself easily. Tonight, before you sleep, close your eyes and imagine one simple scene that implies your desire is already fulfilled. For example, imagine a friend congratulating you. Hear their voice, feel the joy in your heart, sense the reality of the moment. Don't force it, simply feel it. When it feels real, it's done. Then fall asleep in that feeling. In that instant, you've created it. You've moved into the state where your desire is true. That act of imagination was not make-believe, it was creation. The next day, don't go searching for signs. Instead, live from the knowing that what you have imagined is already yours. When you hold that inner certainty, the outer world bends itself to match your new state. Let's look at an example. Imagine two people facing the same challenge. Perhaps both are looking for a new job. One says, "It's so hard, there are no opportunities, I'll try my best." The other closes their eyes and imagines receiving the perfect job offer, feels gratitude, and walks through the day with quiet confidence. Within days, something remarkable happens. The second person gets a call, a chance meeting, or an email that opens the door. Was it magic? Not at all. It was faith. Faith in imagination. The second person didn't wait to see it before believing. They believed first, and the world rearranged itself instantly to reflect that belief. When you accept that manifestation is instant, your entire relationship with life changes. You stop striving and start knowing. You stop asking, how long will it take? And instead ask, what am I imagining right now? Because whatever you're imagining now is what's becoming visible next. This is the secret. Creation is finished. You are simply moving through the states of what's already done. When you imagine a new scene, you shift states instantly, and your world reshapes around it. That's why miracles seem sudden. They're not sudden at all. They're the instant reflection of an inner shift that has just become visible. You don't have to force anything. You only have to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and rest in it. The universe is never late. It's only as fast as your acceptance. Think about light. It travels instantly once the switch is turned on. The power was always there. But until you flip the switch, the room remained dark. Your imagination is that switch. The power is within you, waiting for you to say, let there be light. So the next time you desire something, a healing, a relationship, a change, don't ask when or how. Instead, close your eyes and be there now. See yourself already living it. Feel the emotion. Breathe in the satisfaction. That state is the reality. Stay in it long enough, and you'll watch the outer world catch up scene by scene, moment by moment. Remember, time is only a shadow of your inner belief. It doesn't delay creation. It reveals it gradually so you can perceive it. But in the invisible world, the world of imagination, it's done now. When you truly grasp that, you'll stop waiting and start living from fulfillment. You'll realize that imagination is not the prelude to manifestation. It is manifestation. The unseen and the seen are two sides of the same coin. So, right now, what are you imagining? Are you imagining from lack or from fullness? Are you rehearsing disappointment or celebrating victory? Because whichever you choose, your world will agree with you instantly. Dare to believe that your imagination is the only reality. Dare to know that every assumption you hold shapes the next scene of your life. The power is not outside you. It never was. It is within you, quietly whispering, imagine and it shall be. The moment you imagine lovingly, faithfully and fully, the moment you accept it as true in your heart, it is done. And in that moment, manifestation has already happened. Every time you choose a new thought, a new assumption, you are shifting worlds. You are stepping into a parallel version of reality where your desire already exists. That shift doesn't take effort or time. It takes awareness. When you think it's done, you've already moved. The universe is not waiting for days, weeks, or years to bring it to you. It aligns itself the instant you align within. Imagine holding a radio. You don't build the music. You simply tune into the right frequency, and the song plays instantly. The broadcast was always there. You just had to match its vibration. That's exactly how imagination works. Your desired reality is already broadcasting on its own frequency. The moment you imagine and feel yourself there, you've tuned in. You don't need to wait for the music. You're already hearing it. But most people don't realize this. They imagine something wonderful, then look around and see nothing has changed. So they say, it didn't work. But what really happened is they imagined, then immediately imagined the opposite. They stepped into the new state for a moment, then ran back to the old one. The power never left them. They simply changed stations. Your world is your mirror, and imagination is your reflection point. If you keep looking at the old reflection, you'll keep seeing the old story. But if you close your eyes and create a new inner image, the reflection must change. The mirror has no choice. It reflects what stands before it. This is why it said faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith isn't waiting. It's knowing. It's the quiet confidence that what you've imagined is already yours, that knowing itself is the evidence. You can feel this truth if you pause right now. Close your eyes and imagine one desire fulfilled. Maybe it's peace, maybe it's love, maybe it's success. Feel the relief, the gratitude, the joy as if it were happening now. Do you sense that quiet certainty inside you? That's the moment of manifestation. It's instant. The rest is simply the outer world adjusting to what you've already decided. Everything begins and ends in imagination. The house you live in was once a thought. The clothes you wear, the chair you sit on, even the device you're reading this on, all of them were born in someone's mind first. Someone imagined it, believed in it, and it became real. Why would your dream be any different? When you say, I am, you're declaring your creative authority. Whatever follows those words becomes your truth. I am healthy. I am abundant. I am loved. The moment you declare and feel it, it's sealed in the unseen. You are the author of your reality. writing with the ink of imagination. This is the reason imagination feels so natural. It's your true self expressing. Every image, every emotion, every thought you persist in is forming something unseen that must eventually be seen. The outer world is slow, but imagination is lightning fast. That's why you can see an entire world in a split second of a dream you've already experienced. Instant creation thousands of times. You simply call it imagination or vision, and when you stop dismissing imagination as just pretending, you'll realize it's the only creative power you've ever had. Pretending is creating, assuming is creating, feeling it real is creating. It all happens the instant you believe it. You are not bound by your current circumstances. You are only bound by your current state of consciousness. Change your state and you change your world. The moment you shift inside, reality must echo that shift. It's law, not luck. So walk through your day as the version of yourself who already has what they desire. Speak as them, think as them, feel as them. Don't wait for proof, be the proof. When you do this consistently, you'll see how life rearranges itself around your inner conviction. People, opportunities, and events will appear as if by magic, but it's not magic, it's imagination. The great secret is not to fight against appearances, but to ignore them. Appearances are just the past catching up to your old thoughts. You don't need to fix them, you only need to stop feeding them. Withdraw your attention and place it firmly in the new vision. If your world feels heavy, it's only because your imagination has been painting heavy pictures. Lighten the picture and the world lightens too. You are the dreamer, not the dream. And the dream can only obey the dreamer. The moment you see yourself differently, everything changes. You might not notice it instantly with your eyes, but the shift has already happened in the unseen. The bridge of events will unfold naturally, leading you step by step to the outer realization of what you've already accepted within. So don't chase, don't wait, don't beg, imagine, feel, know. The moment you know, it's yours. The moment you imagine, it's done. The old is already rearranging itself around your assumption. Right now, in this very breath, hold your new image gently but firmly, like a flame in your hands. Protect it from doubt. Feed it with love and gratitude, because that image you hold, that is creation itself. And creation is always instant. Every heartbeat, every breath, every thought is a creative act. You are constantly imagining, whether you realize it or not. The life you see around you is not a random collection of circumstances. It's the perfect mirror of what you have assumed to be true about yourself. When you begin to take responsibility for this, everything shifts. You stop feeling powerless and start feeling divine. You begin to see that nothing happens to you, everything happens through you. Your imagination is not just a mental movie theater. It's the very power of creation flowing through you. The invisible world of thought and feeling is more real than the visible one because it gives birth to all form. Every time you imagine something with conviction, you've placed an order with the universe, and that order is fulfilled the instant you believe. The challenge for most people isn't that imagination doesn't work. It's that they use it unconsciously. They imagine fears, worries, and failures so vividly that those scenes come alive. Then they say, "See? I knew it would happen." But it was their own creative power at work all along. They just used it against themselves. The good news is, you can change it now, right now. You don't have to undo years of past thinking or karma or effort. One moment of new imagination overrides 1,000 moments of fear. Because truth is always stronger than illusion, and love always stronger than doubt. The instant you imagine lovingly, you step into a higher state of being where your desires already exist. So start small if you must. Imagine something simple. A text from a friend, a compliment, a small unexpected blessing. Feel the joy of it as though it just happened. Then watch how effortlessly life mirrors that scene back to you. Once you experience that, your confidence will grow. You'll begin to understand that there is no difference between a small manifestation and a large one, only the strength of your faith. The more you live in imagination, the lighter your world becomes. Things that once seemed impossible start to feel natural, obstacles dissolve, people show up at the right time, paths open where there were none, and it all begins with one inner decision: to believe in the unseen more than the seen. Faith is the bridge between imagination and reality. When you walk across it with steady steps, you discover that everything you've ever wanted was waiting for you on the other side of your belief. The moment you feel it is real, you're there. You don't have to visualize perfectly. You don't have to meditate for hours. You only need to feel the truth of your desire just for a few seconds, and it's done. The more natural it feels, the faster it solidifies. That's why imagination is called the father of creation. It conceives instantly, even when things look the opposite. That doesn't mean your imagination failed. It means the bridge of events is unfolding. Stay faithful to your inner vision and let the outer world catch up. The law never breaks, it only reveals. When you fully accept this, life becomes peaceful. You stop forcing and start flowing. You begin to realize that your imagination is not something you use, it's what you are. Every word you speak, every emotion you allow, every assumption you hold is a creative decree. So choose your decrees wisely. Speak lovingly about yourself. Imagine the best for others. When you see someone struggling, imagine them thriving. When you face a problem, imagine it already solved. When you feel uncertain, imagine being calm and guided. Each of these small acts of imagination shifts reality instantly. Even if you don't yet see it, you are the author writing the story as you go, not the reader reacting to the plot. The world will always mirror back the tone of your inner narrative. Change the story and the scenery changes too. And remember the simple truth. What you imagine with love becomes real with ease, because love is the highest vibration. It dissolves doubt and carries your desire straight into form. So every time you close your eyes, every time you enter that sacred inner space, remember, you're not escaping the world, you're shaping it. Every image you hold in your mind is alive with creative power. When you think of yourself as successful, healthy, or loved, that image immediately begins to take shape in the unseen world. It gathers form, substance, and energy, waiting only for your continued faith to make it visible. The moment you waver, the image flickers, not because the power has disappeared, but because your attention has shifted away from it. Attention is the secret key. Whatever holds your attention grows in your life. If you constantly focus on what's missing, you expand the feeling of lack. But when you give your full attention to what's already fulfilled within you, that inner fulfillment becomes your new reality. Attention is not passive, it's creative. Every second you sustain the inner picture, you are breathing life into it. The power of imagination doesn't need effort, it needs quiet assurance. You don't push or strain, you simply assume the outer world is not built through physical struggle, but through inward conviction. Every great invention, every discovery, every act of genius was born in stillness. Someone dared to imagine it first, long before the evidence appeared. If you can imagine it clearly enough to feel it, you can live it, because your feeling is the secret signal that tells the universe this is real. The universe doesn't respond to words, it responds to the vibration of belief. When you feel something is true, the entire field of creation reorganizes itself instantly to match that vibration. That's why one person can turn a hopeless situation into victory, while another, with the same conditions, feels stuck. The difference lies in inner vision. You were never meant to struggle for your manifestations. You were meant to assume them with peace. You don't climb toward your desire, you align with it. The moment you enter the feeling of already being the person you want to be, you've stepped into that version of reality. Every step you take afterward is simply the natural expression of who you've already become. Think of a seed. The instant it's planted, the full-grown tree already exists within it. You don't see the branches, but they are there in potential form. All that's required is time and trust. Likewise, when you imagine a desire fulfilled, the full version already exists in consciousness. The physical world is merely unfolding it scene by scene, so you can witness your own creation. When you understand this, impatience fades. You no longer ask, when will it happen? Because you know it has happened in the unseen. You simply let your outer life rearrange itself naturally, guided by invisible intelligence. You find yourself in the right places, meeting the right people, saying the right words, all without effort. And it's not luck, it's law. The moment you feel something real in imagination, the law of correspondence begins its work. Your outer world must echo your inner assumption. It cannot resist you because you are the source. Many people imagine vividly, but fail to feel the reality of their vision. They think of their desire as something distant, something to achieve later. But imagination demands present tense belief. You must be there now. Feel it, own it, live it inwardly until it becomes your natural state. When you think from the end rather than toward the end, the world rearranges instantly. Every moment is a choice between two worlds, the seen and the unseen. The seen reflects your past assumptions. The unseen contains your infinite possibilities. When you favor the unseen, when you dwell more in imagination than in appearance, your outer life becomes a masterpiece of faith. And faith isn't trying to make something happen. It's the certainty that it's already done. That's why manifestation is instant. The shift doesn't occur in time, it occurs in consciousness. You are never waiting for the thing is waiting for you to recognize it. This recognition is what transforms life into art. You begin to see that every challenge, every delay, every contrast is simply a call to imagine differently. It's the universe saying, choose again. What do you want to feel now? And the moment you choose with love, the new scene unfolds automatically. Nothing stands between you and your desire but imagination misused. Change the inner picture, and the outer world obeys. You don't have to convince anyone, prove anything, or control outcomes. You only have to see it done and feel it real. The rest flows. You've been doing this your whole life. Every victory, every failure, every miracle you've experienced was born in imagination first. The only difference now is awareness. You know that you are the creator, not the creation. You are the dreamer with the power to rewrite the dream at any moment. And when you live from this awareness, you no longer react. You create consciously. You stop asking why and start saying yes. Yes to possibility. Yes to love. Yes to the unseen power working through you. Your imagination is infinite. And so are you. Every thought you choose to hold becomes a thread, the fabric of your reality. The more you repeat it, the stronger it weaves into the pattern of your life. If you constantly think of lack, you reinforce it. If you dwell on abundance, you amplify it. This is not punishment or reward. It's simple creative law. The imagination obeys the feeling of the one who commands it. You are always commanding, whether knowingly or not. It's easy to overlook how powerful this is because the shift begins invisibly. You might imagine something tonight and wake up to a world that looks unchanged, but beneath the surface, the structure of your reality is already moving. Invisible threads are being pulled together, setting scenes, aligning people, orchestrating perfect timing. You can't see it yet, but the instant you imagine, the change was made. That's why persistence is love in action. It's not forcing the universe, it's trusting it. When you persist in imagination, you're saying, I know it's already done, and I will not look away. You're holding your inner world steady until the outer world catches the signal. Even the smallest feeling of belief is enough. The tiniest spark of what if it's true can ignite a transformation that ripples through every corner of your life. Once imagination catches fire, nothing can extinguish it. The old world starts to crumble, and a new one takes shape. Not because something out there changed, but because you did. The key is consistency in feeling. Every time you return to the scene in imagination, every time you touch the emotion of it being real, you strengthen the bridge between the unseen and the seen. Soon that bridge becomes so solid that it's impossible to doubt. You no longer hope. It simply feels natural, inevitable, and true. Your imagination doesn't recognize limits. It doesn't know the difference between $1 and $1 million, between a headache and a total healing, between a small joy and a life-altering miracle. It responds only to your belief, to your conviction that this is who I am. Once you accept that identity within, the world has no choice but to mirror it. Everything you call miracle is just a natural reflection of an inner assumption held long enough to take root. When you imagine with love and certainty, you set the entire universe in motion. Nothing and no one can resist that vibration because it's not separate from you. It is you. That's why the moment you imagine lovingly, everything begins to soften. You feel lighter, more peaceful, more certain. That peace isn't a byproduct. It's the proof that creation is complete. The outer scene may still look the same, but within you, it's already done. And once it's done within, the outer must follow. You don't need to fix anything. You don't need to earn what's already yours. The power that imagined the stars is imagining through you now, shaping worlds in response to your inner picture. When you understand this, you begin to live differently. You stop asking, will it happen? And start affirming it is happening. The instant you choose a new self-concept, a new identity in imagination, the world adjusts. You might see it unfold gradually, but don't mistake gradual appearance for delayed creation. The creation was instant. You're just walking through the bridge to it now. And the bridge is always beautiful. It might appear as coincidences, chance encounters, sudden clarity, or unexpected opportunities, but each moment is proof of your inner power at work, leading you gently to the full unveiling of what you've imagined. Keep your focus on the end, not on the means. The how is not your job. It's already contained within the vision you hold. The moment you felt your wish fulfilled, you invited every necessary condition into being. The universe knows how. It has never failed to deliver on a single seed of imagination planted in faith. So imagine boldly, feel deeply. Let your vision expand beyond what logic allows, because the laws of imagination are not bound by reason. They are bound by love, faith, and the certainty that what you can conceive, you already are. And so now as you breathe and feel the quiet pulse of life within you, remember this truth. You are not waiting for your dreams. You are living them in the unseen right now. The moment you imagine, the moment you feel it real, creation is complete. You are the living proof that imagination is the breath of God moving through human form. Let this truth awaken something sacred in you. No matter where you stand or what appears before your eyes, the real power is within you, alive, limitless, and ready to shape worlds. You are never powerless, never behind, never too late. Everything you could ever desire is already yours the instant you dare to believe. So close your eyes, see it done, and walk as though it were already true. Let faith become your vision and love your guide. When you live from that place, when you truly know who you are, nothing is impossible, and every dream, every miracle, every desire will rise to meet you.